And now, Brandon Thick Boy Schaub.
What's up, fam? It is Monday morning, September 8th. September's flying by. September's flying by, kids. How we doing? Everybody good out there? Great, grand, wonderful. How was your weekend? Mine, not bad, not bad. The kiddo sports have officially started. So I'm a glorified Uber driver, but instead of just dropping you off, I stay for the whole time. And then I got to take you home. That's what being a dad is when kids are in sports. And they're both playing two sports. I'm not going to lie to you. It's a lot. I love it, though. I freaking love it. So they finally started the football and baseball games. Boys are playing well. On Saturday, they both had football games. And then I had to leave at the end of Tigers game because I was doing the Fight Companion with Mr. Joseph Rogan, Gordon Ryan, and Mr. Brian the Kid Callen. And that was 4 hours. I think it was 4+ hours. We started at 2. I think we got done around 6-ish, 6:30. And then Boston had a game at 9. You had to be at the field at 7:45. We got there early. So I was just on my feet from from 5. And then when you're doing the companion, you got to pay attention, you got to be on, but you're with your boy. It's a good time, but you just got to be on, When I got home, I was so drained. I literally just sat on the couch. I didn't talk much to anybody, and I just passed out. About 8 o'clock, your boy was out. I was just mentally, emotionally, physically exhausted. It was a great day. Boy, was just, I don't know, man.
It's a nap then. That's an actual nap, right?
That would be a 10-hour nap, Jim. Right. I did not wake up till the next morning at 4 a.m.
Wow.
I was just drained. It was weird. I was drained. And I didn't eat the whole day. I'm fasting. But then I'll usually fast to 5 when I do it. But then since I was doing the companion, there was no food. So I just powered through it. So I think maybe that had some, I don't know. Your boy's drained. Companion was fun. I like to stir the pot. I like to mix things up. I brought up vaccines. Huge mistake. Brian and Rogan really got into it. I'm in the middle of those two when they talk about vaccines. I'm right in the middle. But you got to realize too, you can throw all the stats at me like Brian does. And even after the show, Brian sent me all these articles and shit. I'm like, dude, I do not care. You got to realize from a personal standpoint, whether I agree with vaccines or not, I'm not anti-vax, but my oldest son had a major issue from vaccines. Major issue. Gave him seizures and we had some major complications. So that's why I'm a little hesitant. There's a lot of narrative on both sides there, but just personally, I don't care what you do. I don't give a shit. I don't care. Personally, that's why I'm kind of a little hesitant about the vaccines. That's it, man. But when I brought up vaccines, it really went south. Boy, did it go south. Then the other thing I wasn't planning on bringing up is I think Rogan brought it up. I don't think Gordon would. But and it's kind of old news, but his name's Moneyberg or Moneybag? Moneyberg. So for those of you who don't know, this gentleman's name is Derek Moneyberg, and he's a very successful businessman. I think they tell me he's damn near a billionaire. And he trains with Gordon Ryan, Jake Shields, I think a few other guys, big time dudes in the space.
All the main guys I saw, yeah.
Big time. He trained, and they gave his black belt, I think, in 3 years. And this was a whole thing, right? I really don't care. Okay, do your thing, man. And then obviously it became a thing. And so it was brought up on Fight Companion. And before I go into it, I don't know Derek Moneyberg. I'll call him Moneybag. Sorry. Derek Moneyberg. I think Moneybag's a rapper. That's why I was saying that. But Derek Moneyberg, I don't know him. I assume he's a good dude. So whenever you're talking about this, the internet is going to get super toxic and attack them. You don't need to do that. You can go, hey, dude, Like, if you have jiu-jitsu experience, ask him a question. You don't need to hate on the guy. There's no reason to get nasty about it. I don't know him. I assume he's a good dude. I assume he's a smart guy. I have no clue. I don't know his background. I don't know how he made his money. I know Gordon speaks highly of him. Jake Shields speaks highly of him. So he's probably a cool dude. So any criticism, it's not really towards him. I don't know. I don't know him. But, Gordon defended it. And, Gordon's the Michael Jordan of jiu-jitsu. So what he says carries a heavy weight. He's done it at the highest of the highest levels. He's a black belt. And he was saying, people think he's going to beat a ADCC champion or something like that, and that's not true. He rolls with his guy, rolls with the guys that he basically pays private training, which is Gordon, Jake, and whoever else. I don't know who else. But he says, I would consider him a black belt, and then he goes, I don't even believe in belts, which that's a whole nother issue I don't want to get into. And I had questions about it. Again, I'm not hating on Derek Moneyberg. I just had some questions about it because I've been around jiu-jitsu a long time, trained at the highest level. When I hear a guy gets his black belt in under 10 years, who's not like a competition jiu-jitsu practitioner, it usually, my jiu-jitsu spidey sense go, what's going on here? Either he's a complete freak, a la BJ Penn. And now a lot of you will reference BJ. Well, some people will. Not anybody in the actual jiu-jitsu space who knows what the hell they're talking about will go, well, BJ Penn got his in 3 years. He did. And do you know how BJ Penn was awarded his black belt? Not by just training with other black belts. He got his black belt by winning, I think, becoming the first North American to win the ADCC, which is basically the Olympics of the jiu-jitsu. So he did that in 3 years. So that's why he was awarded his. Again, very impressive. It'd be hard to question anybody giving BJ his black belt because we can see in competition against other elite black belts how he performs. So there's a lot of footage we can look at and criticize and critique and go, okay, that guy got it. So I think with Moneyberg, and especially online, and it's a current thing these days where people want instant gratification or instant status without actually doing the work. I'm not saying he's not doing the work, because if he is training, like Gordon says, 5 times a day, 5 hours a day, 5 times or 7 times a week, with these high level guys, you're going to get pretty good. The hiccup I have with it is Gordon says he doesn't train with like students and anybody outside of just his high level black belt trainers. So even though you might have the knowledge and those guys are going through it, those guys aren't rolling with you 100%. You would never learn. So when I was starting as a white belt, if I only trained with Gordon Ryan, or I only trained with Henner Gracie or Henzo or Amal Easton or Elliot Marshall, all black belts, or Ricardo Almeida, these are guys I trained with, Bushesha, Crone Gracie, Lyoto Machida, I can go GSP. I can go through the black belts I've been with. Hodger Gracie, Holes Gracie. So if as a white belt, if you just jump into that deep end with those guys, you're not going to learn too much. If they're actually you're not going to learn too much besides just getting beat the fuck up. You're not going to learn, you're not going to advance a ton. Now in your head, you're going, yeah, but if you're seeing that every day, correct. But if you're not learning the fundamentals and building up to that, it's just not the way it works. It's just not. It's not. So again, my question to Gordon and to Rogan, who's defending it, was if you're training with Gordon Ryan, getting privates for 5 hours a day, 7 days a week, which I can imagine the amount of money he's paying, which good for him, good for Gordon, good for Jake, all those guys, everybody involved, good for you. But if you're not competing with other guys who are coming up the ranks, you really don't know what level you're at. You can say, well, mentally, I've soaked in whatever it is, 25 hours a week of high-level black belt knowledge. Right. But if you've never actually put it to the test, it's tough to know where you're at. It's very tough to know where you're at, because if you're not doing it live and going against other styles and belt levels, you really don't know what your thing is. You really don't know what's going to work. That's what I would say. And that's it. And I think the reason why I question it, and again, if Gordon says he's a black belt, guys, you gotta give it up. What are you gonna do? You can't argue with fucking Gordon Ryan. But from my personal experience, I know it took me as a professional athlete, and I'm not being condescending. This guy's probably a lot smarter than me, has a lot more money than me. He's doing things way better than I am in a lot of facets in business and life, and he's crushing it. This Derek Moneyberg. When it comes to athletically, I don't know his background. Maybe he's more athletic than me. I do not know. Again, I'm not being condescending, but I know with my athletic ability, Division I football, very short tryout with the Buffalo Bills, and then UFC made it to the top 10 heavyweight, which isn't terrible. I just know training 7 days a week, 2 to 3 times a day as a professional was my only job. Wasn't making a ton of money, hungry, motivated. It took me about 6 to 7 years before I could roll with a high-level black belt and give him some work. You know, where I could walk into any gym, whether I went down to Brazil, which I did, and trained at Gordon's or Gordo's, who was Big Nog's instructor, and gave him his black belt. Before I could go to Chrome Gracie's, before I got invited to the black belt class at the Gracie Academy, before I got invited to the black belt class at Rain Training Center, or at High Altitude, where it's just black belts, and we would meet at 7 a.m. It took me about 7 years of being a professional with my athletic ability, competing at the highest level in gi, no gi, before I was comfortable to survive, might get a submission here and there against certain black belts, but really to give them actual looks. It took me that long. And so that's my perspective. Now he's coming from a different angle, and the argument would be, well, what exactly is a black belt? That's the argument. Is a black belt an argument saying they can hold their own against high-level black belts? Because, again, I could train every day with my athletic abilities, which might be higher than a lot of these elite-level black belts, and I could train for 15 years straight, 7 days a week, and I would never, ever be able to compete with a Hadra Gracie, a Bushesha. You can't. You just can't. It doesn't work that way. You know, I can give him work. So the question really isn't, is he a black belt? The question would be, is what's your definition of a black belt? Obviously, I'm going to be a little biased, and mine's more competition driven and putting the work in and competing against from a white belt level, blue belt level, purple level, brown belt level, black belt level, and then there's even another competition level up to there where you're dealing with guys who make a living doing jiu-jitsu. And it's that whole thing. It's that whole ecosystem where you're going to realize where you're at and what your skill level is and your cardio and what you need to work on and what your go-tos are and stuff like that. That's where I'm coming from. So again, it's a discussion. I'm not attacking this Derek Moneyberg guy. I'm not attacking, sure as hell not attacking Gordon Ryan and Jake Shields. and they're making a good living doing this, and it is what it is, man. So yeah, and the way he deals with it, again, his comments, people are like, oh, why don't you roll with this guy, and he kind of attacks him, which I don't think's the way to do it. But again, this guy is doing a lot better than I am in life, it appears. I started training MMA. This is from Derek Moneyberg, and he just posted this 2 hours ago. Wow. I started training MMA to help with fitness goals and have good self-defense skills for the rest of my life. I've accomplished both of those goals extremely well. I've never said I want to be a UFC champion or competitive at ADCC. That's not realistic and was never my goal. I don't owe the public anything. I don't have to compete and prove myself with every low-level doofus who wants to call me out. I don't need to show rolling footage or make any special effort to prove anything to anyone. I've been a lifelong entrepreneur, investor since I was a teenager. That has nothing to do with your athletic abilities or jiu-jitsu. I'm primarily a businessman who has lifted weights and trains MMA as a hobby. If it hurts your feelings that I take my hobbies more seriously than you, take your primary goals. Please reflect on that, escalate your level of commitment. I'm not the average person. I have no concerns what average people think of me. In reality, most people don't think much or do much at all. It's impossible for an average person to understand the exceptional and abnormal commitment it takes to do anything excellent. If they understood the benefits of excellence, they would be working hard to crave. I know the progress I've made. Okay. The people who matter already understand, and people who don't understand don't matter. I'm going to stay focused on my next $100 million. Good for him. Training as a hobby. Best wish to you who are seeking excellence. When you read a hater comment in my post, remember a hater is just a jealous fan, and the number one thing a hater hates is himself. Best wishes to the winners and haters reading this. I hope you do better. I'll be working hard and doing better for sure. Do you, big dog. Do you. Tom DeBlas, who's very good at jiu-jitsu, put, I'm with Gordon, who cares? Everyone needs to chill. Yeah, I'm that way too, but I don't care what the guy does. You get yours. Everyone, you get yours. But it's okay if you have a jiu-jitsu background, you've competed, go, well, hold on, just go, help me understand if you don't roll with anybody in classes and go through that whole grind period, because there's a reason why it takes 10 years to get your black belt on average. There's a reason, man. Because anybody else who doesn't have his money, that couldn't afford to train with Gordon and Jake and these other monsters, it literally impossible to get your black belt in under 8 years. And that's being generous. Impossible to be like a legit competitive, but it's impossible. But yeah, this guy's doing the impossible, and he's doing his thing. With Tom DeBlas, yeah, you're right. Who cares? I had some questions. That's it. And maybe I'm criticizing it because it took me a bit longer to get really good at a high level. But maybe he's there. But in my experience, there's no way to tell. It would be like, how can I put this in regular terms? It would be like if you only practice stand-up in front of the mirror, and Shane Gillis and Theo Vaughn were your coaches, right? Let's say you hired Shane Gillis, you paid them each $1 million, Shane Gillis and Theo Vaughn, to give you tips on stand-up. But you only did it in your living room for those two. And then went, dude, you're better than we are. Dude, you're a legit black belt at comedy. And then you go to a party or you go online and podcasts or whatever you do, and you go, I'm a black belt in comedy. At stand-up, I'm right there with Theo and Shane Gillis. And then someone goes, oh, where are you performing? You go, I don't perform. You go, what do you mean? I don't do it in front of people. You go, well, so how do you know where you're at? Well, Theo and Shane Gillis say I'm really good. You go, that's cool, but in order to understand how good you are, you have to do it with people that don't know you, with different crowds. You gotta travel around. You gotta go to open mics. You gotta go to different crowds and try it out to see if the bits actually work. Yeah, but Theo and Shane Gillis punched up my tags, man. I know, but where can we see it? You can't. Just know I'm that good. A lot of people, especially in comedy, would be like, hold up. That's not the way this works. Comedy is another thing. 10 years. Jiu-jitsu, 10 years. There's a reason that exists. But everyone wants instant gratification, instant credibility. There's a reason I got a ton of hate. Rightfully so. I had a special in 2 years. That's not normal. That's not how it works. I was not at a black belt level in comedy. I got pushed way too fast. Way too fast. And so you're going to get a lot of criticism because that's not how this works. Everyone knows, whether you're a professional comedian or a professional jiu-jitsu player, everybody knows it's impossible to be at that level in 2 to 3 years. It's not the way this works. So, but when you tell us it does, it's going to trigger some people because there's a lot of people, especially in the jiu-jitsu community, there's a lot of people that work their ass off, man. And some of them do it 12, 15 years and not black belts. Some of them do it 8 years and they're savages and they're still not black belts. So that's where the criticism comes from. And I would assume he expected this. And it seems like he deals with it well. I might be wrong. Maybe the general consensus of the I don't know what the internet's saying. I don't go through the comments typically. I don't know if the general jiu-jitsu community is like, no, he's a black. Maybe they're saying he's a black belt. Let's take a little break, then we'll jump right back in this juicy episode. Looking for the perfect buzz without the hangover? Well, I'm here to tell you about Breeze, spelled B-R-E-Z, an incredible functional beverage company revolutionizing how we drink. Their line of feel-good tonics are the perfect alcohol alternatives with an effect you'll actually feel. They use a small amount of THC, CBD, and functional mushrooms to create fun effects without the traditional downsides of alcohol. And no, these aren't your typical edibles where it's the Wild West. Ugh, not fun. You'll feel each blend within 10 minutes, and the effect will last about an hour and a half. Similar cocktail. It's mellow enough for your moms to try, but stackable if you're trying to dial it up, boys. They ship all across the United States, so head on over to feelthebreeze.com/Schaub, S-H-A-U-B. That's feelthebreeze.com/Schaub. Use the code Schaub for $5 credit and free shipping on your first order. Consult with physician before use if you are pregnant, nursing, have any known suspected allergies or medical conditions, or taken any medication.
FDA has not evaluated these products for safety or efficacy. Products are intended for 21 plus. I mean, I think this says it all. This is pretty much the general consensus that it's an insult to other black belts. I completely get it too. If it takes people 10 years typically to get a black belt and he gets it in 3, and plus he's not showing anything that he's done.
It's just not the way it works. That's
so
it.
People will take offense to it. But as long as
you don't have to be mean to him about it though. That's my that's what I don't understand. Like, why be nasty to him about it? Yeah, that's what just be cool.
People are gonna hate.
Yeah, and you can question it, which is what I'm doing. But you don't have to be. It doesn't make him a bad guy. It doesn't make him a piece of shit or whatever the hell they're calling him.
It's just like, but I'm from the outside looking in. I'm not a jiu-jitsu guy, but when I see this, I'm just like, oh, obviously they paid money. He paid money to get to where he's at. That's how I see it, but that's fine as long as he's not
that's
saying
how you should see it.
He's not saying like, I'm going to beat this guy jiu-jitsu. If he's not doing that, then go ahead and do your thing, man. People want to get paid.
Jay told me he read one comment where someone was like, dude, BJ Penn got his black belt 3 years. You're saying you're like BJ Penn? He's like, actually, BJ congratulated me and said, good job. And someone was like, well, BJ thinks his mom's a robot, so that's not saying much.
Oh, so sad, but it's true. That's what's happening with BJ. Damn it.
Yeah, and last thing I want to do is, upset Gordon or Jake or this Derek Moneyberg guy. It's, they have their thing, and it is what it is.
You know what reminds me of it a lot is when celebrities get these honorary degrees from like Harvard and everything.
Shit, yeah,
they've only
because like even at our level in our academic careers, like you have a little bit of taste of that where it's like Harvard.
Yeah, that's kind of what I see here.
Hold on. Who is it? Hold on. Ice Spice got a degree from Harvard. It's like, come on, man.
Yeah.
If she was an Ice Spice, there's no degree from Harvard, you know?
It'll take a little longer, yeah.
Yeah. It's going to take you a little longer. And then me and Rogan to get into it's a discussion. I fucking love the guy. But he was like, no, if you train and I talked to Rogan this morning, it's like, he's like, no, if you train, people, the possibilities, you can get very good. You can get very good. Again, this all comes down to what's your definition of a black belt. I think mine's different than a lot of people's. I don't know. Maybe I assume the jiu-jitsu community is with me because most of them work their ass off. Even when Joe was like, man, there's some blue belts that can hang with black belts. Again, my definition of a blue belt, and this just from my experience, this doesn't mean this is the end all be all, right? I'm some idiot. In the legit jiu-jitsu gyms I've been in, even brown belts, a high level brown belt and black belt, if there's a blue belt, even if he had a crazy pedigree in wrestling, he would do very well. He would do very well with the other blue belts, some of the purple belts. But when he got to the legit brown black belts, he would get his dick twisted in a knot. Now, I've only been around jiu-jitsu over 15 years. That's it. And maybe Rogan's like, this one guy, I was a black belt and he came in, I could not do anything. I get that. I get that. Where I come from, when we've dealt with those guys, always wrestlers come in. Always high level wrestlers. They come in all the time and roll with us. NFL guys, when it came time and they went against legit black belts, they got eaten alive.
Makes sense.
That's how it goes. Yeah. Across the board. I've seen Crone Gracie fuck up big guys, small guys, world-class wrestling, great grapplers, purple belts, but it does not matter. At a certain level, when I'm talking high-level black belts, it does not matter. But again, that's Joe's experience, and my experience is going to be different, right? Like he wasn't in it, competing, going with monster. It's different. It's different, and everyone's right to their opinion. And maybe he came across the one blue belt with a wrestling background who's just that fucking guy. Keep going down.
It's just funny. Land of make believe.
Yeah, like I said, the guy's being nice. He goes, although I respect a good work ethic, agree, me too. And you can do a lot with a good work ethic. You can go really far. He goes, I disagree with you in the case of BJ Penn. He got his black belt within 3 years, but he was a 17-year-old prodigy. Again, I can't emphasize enough on the reason BJ got his black belt is he won ADCC.
Yeah, he's proven it.
We have footage
in front of people,
of him competing against the most elite black belts and winning. This guy says, I don't know who you are, and I'm sure you're a great guy and all, but there's a difference. But if you are really that good, then all the best to you. Agree?
Yeah, that's it.
And then this guy goes, I'm a 40-year-old purple belt. Can we film a match against this? Yeah. But
I mean, yeah. If
he could just, like, I think they said he was in Austin. If he saw this and he saw me question it, most black belts, especially like if I called out a 10th Planet black belt, a Gracie Baja black belt, insert a different school than I come from, right? And I was like, I don't think that guy's a black belt, and he was like, also my weight. He'd be like, come down and roll. Nothing mean, but like, dude, all right, come down and roll. I expected him maybe to be like, Schaub, I'm in Austin, come on down, and I would have went down. Not being mean and not trying to fuck the guy up or hurt him. None of that stuff. Just get out. Heard you're a black belt, man. It's a pretty cool story. Down to roll if you want, Yeah, this guy hit on the head. I'm more impressed you train that hard, hours, days, back-to-back privates at 45. There it is. That's a good narrative. That's an achievement on its own. Forget about the belts. Yeah, there you go. I just finished today's training, 2.5 hours, 3 hours. It's only Monday. Yeah, that's one way to look at it. Again, he's not hurting anybody.
That's the main thing. Yeah.
He's not, and it's his own thing. It's his own hobby and his own path. But I go, well, hold on. Like you see me when Gordon goes, yeah, he's a black belt. I go, Gordon, go down. Yeah, that would answer a ton of questions. Sure, let's see you hit a regular gym and hold your own. If that's the thing, like any black belt worth his salt can walk into any gym in the world and hold its own. That to me, that's a black belt. I don't care what gym you walk in. You can hold your, hey, what time's the black belt class? It starts in an hour. Okay, I'll come back. And then you walk in there and can you hold your own? Don't tell me you can.
That's a key point, though. Is he flaunting that he can beat people, or is he just saying he's a black belt?
Yeah, he's not flaunt. That's the thing.
Yeah, so if he's not flaunting it, then why challenge him? Like,
I think where the criticism comes from is this guy goes, I love how everybody steers away and makes sure everyone knows. I didn't give him his black belt. Every black belt that ever gets on the topic, yeah.
And his other
yeah, but this is my other thing, and I'd like to ask him this, is he's like, whatever, a billionaire or whatever? Dude, who gives a fuck? I would post me wearing a black belt, if that, or have Gordon post him wearing his black belt. I wouldn't even be on social media. I sure as fuck wouldn't be acknowledging the hate and all this shit. I don't. Ride off in the sunset with your black belt, big dog. Let the haters hate.
Yeah.
It seems like he might be doing that, but he did write a long essay.
And he does come off a little bit, it's not, you know what, especially when all these like high level jiu-jitsu guys, and they're all wearing his t-shirt, it comes off a little, corny. So that's why people are hating.
Yeah.
But he's not, like you said, he's not saying,
he's not hurting anybody. And it's also a healthy thing what he's doing. And he is training,
That's great. And he's doing other things to make a lot of money. He's killing it. So that's fine. As long as he's not taunting or flaunting and taunting people, then let him do his thing.
Yeah.
And pay me
he's
out.
Promoting a good work ethic, which is good. But even again, in my experience, even with I was notoriously known for having a crazy work ethic. It took me about 7 years before I was comfortable walking into any gym as a professional.
Yeah. It popped up in my head, like if he came up to you, he's like, I'll pay you this much money. Let's do a grappling match, this much money. You would be like, dude, he's amazing. Wearing a shirt. Oh, bro,
don't get it twisted. If he called me right now, I was like, yo, Doug, hey, we come roll, I'll pay you this much. And then you just say I'm a black belt, like, say less. Yeah. I don't give a fuck. Get yours, man. Yeah, especially Gordon, Jake, get yours, dude. Yeah. I'm not trying to fuck up their bag either.
Make your money.
The whole thing is, but the overall, if outside looking in, this is actually a positive movement. The guy is training really hard. He's paying guys in the field. It's a good thing. It's a positive thing. But it's not hating when you go, hold on, my experience, I have some experience in jiu-jitsu. I go, well, hold on. In my experience, I've never seen this. That's it. That's all it is.
Yeah.
What? This comic goes, I've seen enough. Feed him Tracy Cortez.
Yeah, I would take Tracy, to be honest.
Keep going down.
High level clown shit. Yeah, they're saying he's paying people off.
Keep going.
This is kind of like the trans.
Yeah, that guy has a good point, but it's kind of mean.
Yeah.
This guy also has a good comment. Brendan Schaub is a black belt in fuckery. Facts.
Fuck dartery. Do you want to keep going through these or? I don't know. What that
Yeah,
means.
but this guy does. I mean, this guy goes, honest question. Again, not being mean. That's the way to pursue this. Honest question. Why not just find an average black belt like Gordon discusses here and roll with them and record it? Would shut everybody up. I'm a black belt myself, and I know how wide the skill gap is. Correct.
I mean, there's a reason why it doesn't show it, right? Because he's likely not that amazing.
Yeah. All right. That's good. It's an interesting topic. Again,
Yeah.
keep doing you, man. Keep doing you.
And if a video does come out, then 100% it's most likely paid for the guy to lose. Just like,
Yeah, but even let's say he just went into a local. Let's say he went to a 6-blade jiu-jitsu where there's really good black belts, and he's like randomly anybody, you cool if we film it and they roll? And even if he were to get tapped out or like rolled up, anyone that has experience in jiu-jitsu, just from his body mechanics and movement, I could tell you what level he's at.
Oh, okay.
I think that's the issue, is the unknown. We're like, well, just again, I go back to the guy doing stand-up going, yeah, but Theo and Shane Gillis said I'm great. It's like, oh, where are you performing? I don't perform. Well,
Yeah.
that's not, we don't know where you're at if you're not rolling with random guys at a gym. That's it. But again, it's all positive.
Did you want to play this clip or did you already cover enough of it?
You can play it.
Okay.
Who's got one that's so because everybody brings up that Moneybird guy. You trained with him.
Yeah, I'm friends with him. Everyone thinks that Derek is going to go out and beat an ADCC champion. It's just
Well,
it's
that's
just
not
not-
it's just- of course.
It's just not.
Paul
it's
Craig's
just
getting
how-
beat up.
That's not how it's going to work. But I mean, if he trained with like a guy, he's 45 years old. If he trained with like a 42-year-old black belt, he'd do fine.
That's all you need to hear. Because everybody was like so against
Like, is
it
he gonna
and
go out and
saying
win
that
worlds?
because
No.
he's rich. There's different levels to black belt. Like if you're never going to compete, and he got in what 2 years?
It's 3.5.
That's the
I
thing.
mean,
It's
first
tough.
thing,
The
first
thing
of all,
is the
it doesn't
time.
fucking matter. Like, just get better at jiu-jitsu. The belts are irrelevant. First
Good
of all.
point. Good point.
It's like it's,
Wait, explain irrelevant.
There's just
Pause it.
focus on getting better at jiu-jitsu.
Pause it. So if
The belts are
if you pause it, so when Gordon goes, the belts are irrelevant. It doesn't matter if he's not black belt. And Rogan goes, good point. Well, if his point was just get better at jiu-jitsu, then why are you guys pushing the narrative he's a black belt? That's when I went, well, I didn't give him black belt. I agree. The journey of jiu-jitsu is just as good as you can. If you become a black belt, great. There's a reason that 1% of people that start jiu-jitsu get their black belt. There's a very good reason why that. Life happens. It's hard to do, so that's why it takes so long. So when he goes, it's irrelevant with belts. Well, I didn't say he was a black belt. I never have,
And
Keep going.
this whole thing is about black belt. That's the whole reason why people are upset.
Correct.
Yes,
if you
the
just
black-
posted he was training with them and he's getting good and didn't put a label on it, then there's no discussion.
relevant.
Agreed.
So-
I didn't come up with
but-
the market and give him his black belt. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I didn't give him his black belt either. But
But Jake Shields did it. Jake Shields is very
Yeah.
legit.
and
So
but,
if he said he's a black belt, I just take it at face value.
but he trains 7 days a week,
Look at this.
like 4 hours a day.
Who does?
Derek.
That's a lot. That's legit.
Yeah,
Like,
man. If you've
with-
got
with
discipline,
legitimate champions, and he has like some of the best ability to recall information that I've ever seen. Like I could teach him something.
autism.
Why
I
autism?
could teach him something, and I
That's
come
the
back a year
pro.
later, and he's like, oh, we worked on this, and this last time. And
So I guess you do black belt as far as knowledge rolling with you guys, but as far as competition goes, like is he executing it in against other guys
like
besides you guys?
he doesn't compete. He has no aspirations. to
No,
compete.
he means in training.
He trains for the guys who he comes in to train him, so he doesn't have like a lot of looks. Like
Yes.
he doesn't go to like a normal gym and train, which I think is something that's important to do just for your just personal journey
even
in
he admits
jiu-jitsu.
that.
We just opened a new school. We just opened Kingsway,
Uh-huh.
and we have
Congrats,
we have a bunch of black belts who come from other schools.
Uh-huh.
Like a shitty black belt to me is like a guy I competed at a world level and I call my submission on. That's like my like definition of a shitty black belt.
God damn.
Like,
so
like,
but there's level.
but like when you
Fuck
go
you,
to a
buddy.
gym and you see like what your average black belt is, it kind of brings you back to reality. And you're like, oh, this is what most black belts are. Like if Derek rolled with like a regular black belt in a gym, he'd do fine.
You don't know that though.
I train with normal black belts at the gym, and I train with Derek when I go there. Like I'm telling you, he would do fine against a normal black belt.
Well, then that's what it is.
Like,
yeah, you would know.
Like he's not gonna go out and win worlds, but like if he had to compete against like an average black belt who's been doing jiu-jitsu for 10 years and he does it for an hour at a random gym in Kentucky, like
He would hold his own.
like he would probably beat him up, to be honest.
Wait.
He's a 42-year-old hobbyist who's worth $100 million and focuses on making money.
Yeah.
And also trains 4 hours a day.
Sounds awesome.
If you're disciplined,
Sounds awesome.
Everyone's giving him shit because he used it to market himself and was like, "You're too fucking stupid to get a black belt in 3.5 years," and I'm not. That's why everyone's upset about him.
Well,
But he
here's
does
the
he does
thing.
train hard every day.
it's a great idea because I had no idea he existed, and now I'm defending him. Right?
Yeah.
I've defended him
Yeah.
based on what you said.
Who is this guy? I don't even know who he is.
Actually, he's here right now.
But Gordon, you can see why some people, if a guy gets his black belt in 2 years, you're like, okay, what's going on?
3.5. How much did he really train? So, like, this is the idea that we always say. This is what I always say with, like, when people talk about Jake Paul. They say, "Oh, Jake Paul is fucking YouTubers." This and that. I go, push all that away. Yes, but that doesn't mean he can't be good at something. Baggage
Sure,
is
sure.
psychological. You look at him like he's the YouTube guy.
Yeah,
so
but-
a rich guy, like a Moneybird guy
How's it-
or a
how's it, Jim?
Zuckerberg, you say, "Oh,
So let's talk about that with Jake Paul.
Yep.
I love Jake Paul. Jake Paul is great. This is part of where the discrepancy of talent comes into play here. Can Jake Paul box? Yes, clearly he can. He has some legit wins, over some MMA guys and other stuff that he's doing. So can he, the question is not can he box? The question is Jake Paul a main event black belt boxer? And there's no belt levels in boxing. Take my bias out of it with Jake Paul and how much I love the dude and appreciate what he's doing. But if you go to the regional circuit, which I was on, and I've coached guys at the regional amateur level, I was in Golden Gloves and I've been around it, been in gyms with those guys. In Jake Paul's experience, whatever it is, 4 or 5 years, he would still be, if there's a belt system in boxing, a blue belt. But he's in these huge main events, and so the line's getting blurry. So can Jake Paul box? Yes. Is Jake Paul as talented, or does he have the skill set of a kid at the national level, his age, who's been boxing as well? Are there better kids? Whatever. How old is Jake? 24? 25, 26, 27?
Oh, shit, 28.
So Jake Paul's 28. So would you say if you took another 28-year-old who came up boxing at the regional level and you compared him to Jake Paul right now, are they the same skill level? The answer is not even close. Not even close. So when Rogan goes, yeah, like people want to hate on Jake Paul, it's not that you're hating on Jake Paul, but we're in this world now where the lines are getting blurry. The lines are getting blurry. Just like you and I, we didn't get into it, but when you're like, what is Salt
Papi, yeah.
Salt Papi's a professional boxer. Yeah. Hold on. Yes, he got paid to box. Again, I'm coming from a biased perspective here. Is Jake Paul professional? Technically, yes, he's making money boxing. But when it comes down to the nitty gritty of actual boxing, are there a ton of other 28-year-olds who don't have his fame and stuff like that who would box the fucking brakes off Jake Paul that you've never heard of, that have 30 amateur fights and might not make it pro? Yes. But they're again, guys want instant gratification, instant notoriety, and they catapult up because of other fame, and they get to the top of the boxing world, and we're all like, oh, dude, Jake Paul versus Anthony Joshua. It's insane. It's insane. It's insane because there's a lot of 21, 22, 23-year-old kids on the regional circuit at Jake Paul's age that have 15, 20 years of experience. They've been boxing since they're in diapers, who would run circles around Jake, but they don't have 20 million followers on social media. So you're not, and again, if you're just a casual fan, and you've never seen boxing at the regional level or at your local level, you're just like, yeah, Jake's a very good boxer. I'm not saying Jake's a bad boxer. I'm saying Jake is a pretty good boxer for doing it for 4 years. But he wouldn't be in the top 5,000 at his weight class if he went through the traditional paths of boxing. Does that make sense? That's all I'm saying. That's it. But again, do you? And Jake's going, why the fuck would I have done that? I was on Disney or Nickelodeon, where the fuck he was on. He was famous from his, his stuff with his brother. And he's like, and this is something I do. I can call out guys and jump to the front line. Hell yeah, I'm not hating on you. All I'm saying are the lines get very, very blurry. And it's just a world we live in now. And even with Francis Ngannou, the lines got blurred. You guys saw him against Tyson Fury. And they went, oh my God, an MMA guy can compete with the very best boxing guys. I scratched my head. I went, that's not how this works. But then the argument was, well, he went 12 rounds. Okay. And then he fought Anthony Joshua. And I said, now, if the world is not flat, and it should go like it should with a guy who's been boxing since he was in diapers and came up with the pedigree on the regional circuit in England, and he's on the national team, and he's a gold medalist, and he's the same size as Francis. The way this should work is it shouldn't even be a competition. And what happened? It wasn't even a competition. Now, if Jake decided, forget Gervonta Davis, who's 100 pounds heavier than, forget Anthony Joshua. Let's say let's say he's a cruiserweight, and he fought a top 10 guy that came from a national pedigree, like Russia, Poland, America, and you fought like a real guy, he would not win. That's how this works. It wouldn't even be close. Just what it doesn't mean I'm hating on him. I don't like him. These are just facts. These are just facts. But again, the line gets blurred. Well, Logan Paul doesn't have any boxing experience and went in there against Floyd Mayweather. Yep. Okay. So I can see why people that aren't involved with boxing or jiu-jitsu can go, I don't get it. Jake's just as good as Canelo Alvarez. Okay. I don't get it. I watch Misfits. Those guys are pro. How's it any different than watching the Olympics? Okay. It's all interesting.
It's fun to talk about.
It's fun to talk about. And those guys are going to keep doing their things. Derek Moneyberg's going to keep making money. Jake Paul's going to keep making fucking history. And that's what it is. That's how this goes. And it's all good. It doesn't affect you. If you're a regional guy out there right now on the boxing circuit, there's no reason to hate on Jake Paul. If you're a black belt, it's okay to question Derek Moneyberg's black belt and go, wait, hold on. It took me 15 years. How'd you do it? Okay, cool. Doesn't mean your black belt isn't worth what it was. It's not taking anything away from you. It's all good. You don't have to be nasty. You don't have to DM some nasty shit. You don't have to write nasty comments. Just be normal. It's all good. Life keeps going. The world keeps spinning. It's all good, baby. It's all good. What else you got, Jen?
Alrighty. And by the way, Jake Paul, we all doubted him in the beginning, but he's opened the doors for all this stuff to happen. Like
he's done a lot of good things.
Incredible things, yeah.
But the issue I have is as kind of a bit of a Puritan coming up in boxing is what he's doing, it does blur the lines for a lot of people.
Yeah.
And so you watch Misfits or you watch and go, that guy could do well. In what regard?
But it's a different lane though, so it's fine.
It is, but it blurs. But I'm just saying, for a lot of casuals, it blurs lines very dramatically.
Yeah. Oh well.
Which is all good.
Yeah.
They keep doing. Everyone's gonna keep doing their thing. There's nothing wrong with it.
So you made a good amount of cash from the antitrust lawsuit for the UFC, and then this report from John S. Nash. You saw this, right, with Anderson Silva?
Hey, Anderson made
10.3 million.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. So the receipt of 10.3 million is to Anderson Silva. Now, what's interesting is I'm going to sound like the guy from Shawshank Redemption when he got that loss or that insurance money, the hater guard, where he's like, yeah, then the kids are asking me for a ride. But what's funny about all this is $10 million is a shit ton of money. If you go through Anderson Silva's fights, that the time they're supposed to pay him, he'd be severely underpaid. But again, it's better than nothing.
Waking up one day going, oh, 10 million in the bank.
So it says for the class, the average payment will be $231,000. Median $86,000. High is $10 million. Low of $16,000. Based on the final settlement funds, each fighter should get 32.7% of their total bout compensation earned during the class period, plus $14,000 each bout. That's cool. Yeah, I mean, Anderson deserves that and more. I know a guy who's supposed to get around there, if not more, and turn it down. I know of
Moicano, though.
I know of two guys that turned it down. But Moicano and then one other way bigger, way big, almost a bigger name than Anderson Silva. And I think, because the way it works is, say he didn't, but say Anderson Silva turned down the 10.3, that settlement money is already, UFC's already paid it, and it's sitting in a fund. It's sitting in a fund, and they're going to disperse it throughout September, right? Distribute it in September to everybody. So that, whatever it is, 300 something odd, 475 million, whatever it was, that 475 million is getting distributed no matter what. So let's say Anderson turned down the 10 million. That means the rest of the fighters split that, which is awesome. So the gentleman, I'm not going to say names. I don't think I'm allowed to say who it is. Massive name. Everybody knows him. He's not struggling for money. He's very famous. And I can't confirm this, but I like to think this because I've had some interactions with him. He turned it down because he's well off and he has more money than God. I think he turned it down to give more money to the other fighters.
That's dope.
That's what I think. I have no idea if he really did that, or maybe he's just like, what? There's a lawsuit. Maybe he's that guy because he seems like that guy. I think because he's actually a good person, turn it down so the rest of us get his money. And it's a ton of money.
Wow.
Pretty cool. Let's take a little break here. This episode of The Schaub Show is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. You choose to hit play on this podcast today. Smart choice. Progressive loves to help people make smart choices. That's why they offer a tool called Auto Quote Explorer that allows you to compare your Progressive car insurance quote with rates from other companies. So you save time on research and can enjoy savings when you choose the best rate for you. Give it a try after this episode at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates, not available in all situations. Prices vary based on how you buy. Progressive. What else you got, Jen?
We were just talking about boxing. So this was announced. We kind of talked about it, but then, we talked about it on T5K, right? So this is Floyd Mayweather versus Mike Tyson in an exhibition bout in 2026.
I don't know what to say anymore.
And this is Mike's statement.
This fight is something neither the world nor I ever thought or could happen. It shouldn't happen. I still can't believe Floyd wants to really do this. It's going to be detrimental to his health, but he wants to do it, so it's signed and it's happening. I'm going to tell you the same thing I told you when he was going to fight Jake Paul, and all y'all thought he had a chance. He's every bit of 50, a hard mid-50s.
Tyson?
Yes.
He's like 59.
Yes, with health issues. and they'll release footage from earlier competitions, and it sells you guys on the fight. This whole thing is a big sell, and it's an exhibition, and you're going to get hoodwinked again, and they're going to move around, and nobody's going to get hurt. And that's the state of boxing right now. Now you can reference, well, they've had bad blood in the past. Cool. One of them is 50 years old. He's 48, but we'll just say 50. Floyd is 50 years old. Mike Tyson is 60 years old. This isn't your normal 50 and 60-year-old. This is a very weathered, hard miles, 50 and 60-year-old fighting for your entertainment. I have no desire to watch this.
The exhibition things are what kills me.
When I see exhibition, I'm like, here we go again. Like what? Get your fucking money, Big Mike. Get your money, dog. Whatever it takes, dude. Get yours. I celebrate it. I hope 100 million people watch this. But I would ask, what performance from Mike Tyson gave you the inclination that he's going to knock Floyd out or Floyd's going to knock him out? Which fight? The Roy Jones one? That one?
Definitely not that one.
That one? Would it be the Jake Paul one? How many times are they going to pull the fucking hood over your eyes and you keep going, dude, Mike Tyson's fighting? The lines are getting fucking blurred. But again, get yours, boys. Get it. Fuck yeah.
You like the poster?
Sure.
Okay. This got me a little hyped up for the UFC fight at the White House. So they had to change the date to June because of logistics. Remember originally?
Oh man, I thought they were going to do it on Independence Day.
I know that would have been even so much cooler, but they had to change.
They changed. This is for real. They changed it to June. God,
which is earlier.
Damn it.
Which is kind of weird.
All right, we get sooner, but still.
And this is the YouTube channel MMA World. They kind of describe what they show pictures, and this is what got me excited.
Ivanka Trump, the president's daughter, has also been involved in the planning. The report notes that thousands of spectators are expected to watch, with giant screens set up at the Ellipse just south of the White House grounds. The event will feature weigh-ins at the Lincoln Memorial, fights held on
Wayne's at Lincoln Memorial.
south of the White House grounds. The event will feature
Weigh-ins right there.
God, you imagine being part of that?
weigh-ins at the Lincoln Memorial, fights held on the South Lawn, fighters warming up inside the White House itself, and a production capped off with fireworks and light show. Reacting to the news,
They get a warm up in the White House?
Warm up in the White, and I'm sure everything's gonna be filmed, so it's gonna be super dope.
It's going to be so dope.
Yeah.
Greatest event of all time.
Yeah,
So cool.
has to be the
Yeah.
greatest.
Sucks on July 4th, though.
I know that would have been like the
Yeah.
best possible.
What else you got, Jen?
Okay, but anyways, Connor also, as he always does, he tweeted McGregor's return.
I think you're getting Connor or John Jones on that White House card.
Speaking of John Jones, he was interviewed recently, and this is what he said. Hold on, look at how he's dressed too.
He looks like Von Miller.
Von Miller.
I'm not retired. I'm actively training 5 days a week, and I'm in the UFC's drug testing pool.
Great. And what's the status of the fight at the White House?
I don't really know. It's kind of out of my control right now. I'm training for the event. I'll be ready for the event. That's my goal. That's my intention. But ultimately, it's up to the boss.
So he says he's training 5 days a week for the White House, and he's planning on doing the fight at the White House.
I can see Tom versus John.
And that's just
He says one in a billion. Well, John's a 1 in a billion fighter. I'm with John. You're getting John or Connor. Both? Oh, you're asking for too much. Both. The stars would have to align.
Yep. I mean, that would be the craziest alignment. So the WBO is investigating Alexander Usyk because after his fight with Dubois, he had an injury, so he couldn't fight
The mandatory.
anytime soon.
Yeah.
However, he was caught dancing in a video. He was brought on stage with this girl, and I'll show you the dance.
Motherfucker can dance, though.
Yeah, but I mean, this is kind of silly.
But wait,
right?
it's his hand or foot?
I think it was a back injury that he's talking about. So
That motherfucker's
they're saying
back's
that because of
just
this, literally just because of this video, there's an investigation.
Yeah, hell yeah, there should be. That motherfucker's moving well.
I mean, he's not doing anything crazy.
It's also Usyk. You know,
Yeah.
who's going to question
yeah.
Usyk? He's not afraid of anybody. Maybe he just doesn't want to fight that soon. That motherfucker's twerking in that.
All right, let's go to. Oh, well, before I say this, Terrence Crawford is saying that he has a pick for the best boxer in the UFC. What would be your guess? And it's not Ilya Topuria.
Cody Garbrandt.
You're correct.
Yeah, I did. Well, I saw this before.
Okay.
Yeah, Cody's a very good boxer. I think he's trained with Cody.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wonder what he's basing that off of.
He said straight up pure boxing, not like MMA boxing, just actual boxing.
Yeah, I don't know, because you'd go, well, who has Cody knocked out compared to who? It's tough because if you talk about the Cody that fought Dominic Cruz, you look at that like, Jesus Christ. Yeah. So maybe he's based off that, like both in their prime. It's just tough because where Cody's at in his career, obviously long in the tooth, he's towards the tail end. Ilya's in the prime of his career, so it's tough to argue it's not Ilya right now, just based off his actual performances in the octagon. Yeah, Terrence knows fucking boxing. I would ask Terrence if he's ever seen Ilya Topuria, though. Like, really? Give us your top 5.
So,
like, because he might just have a connection with Cody, and Cody's it's not a bad pick.
No, he's badass.
So if you're talking about Cody in his prime, it ain't a bad pick at all.
Yeah.
But I would go Terrence, top 5 then. In no specific order, just give me your top 5. He'd be like Cody, Rampage, Chuck Liddell. You know what I'm saying? That's what you're dealing with.
Yeah, I wonder how much he follows the actual sport. But let me play this clip for you.
How did the Full Send guys react? I would also ask them their top 5.
They reacted kind of
Fellas, name 5. Terrence, name 5. Oh, neither one of you know what the fuck you're talking about? Cool. Hit it.
UFC at all, or do you have?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Who's some fighters you fuck with in the UFC?
John Jones, my boy, man. You know, I like to be my boy Murad. He used to be in the UFC.
What'd he say?
It's a lot of fighters. Aljo.
Who do you watch in the UFC that you think has the best boxing?
My guy, what's his name?
You seen Topuria's? Cody Garbrandt?
Yeah, he the best. He the best UFC boxer.
Have you seen Topuria? Have you seen his fights recently?
Yeah, but I don't know, man. Cody got them hands.
Cody's not like, I'm not shitting on him, but he's not on the.
But I'm saying we talking about straight boxing.
Straight boxing.
Yeah, we ain't talking about nothing else. We talking about straight boxing skills. I just think Cody got the best boxing skills, in UFC. Man.
So you think if there was one UFC fighter that would have any chance against you in the world, it'd be him?
No, he's too small.
Yeah, no one have any chance against him.
Do you watch any UFC?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
No, the answer is nobody would have a chance against him. But, fellas, both of you, top 5. No order specific, please.
All right, just a couple more. Oh, maybe one more. So Alex Pereira, remember that one time he tweeted some stuff about the UFC? Like he was going to potentially retire. But so it turns out, he said in the beginning, he said he was hacked. Turns out later on Ariel's show, he's
we
like,
all know.
No, I was
we
upset.
all know.
Yeah.
Yeah, we all know. It.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he was not hacked.
Yeah, we called that one.
Did you want to cover anything on the past fights this weekend? Kyle Barrio and
I can. I mean, tough night for the fight nerds. What they've done is insane. That whole camp.
Yeah.
Congrats to them. Congrats to them. It's great what they pull off, and it's no, it's no pun intended. It's no black eye that they two other guys lost on the same card, and I think they're gonna have a very tough night this Saturday at UFC Noche San Antonio. I think they're probably going to suffer another loss, but what they did special. About the main event, Imavov and Kyle Braulio. Did anybody watch that and go, man, whoever wins this is definitely beating Hamzat? Not a chance. I just don't. I don't get excited to see either one of them fight Hamzat.
That was not great.
So I think the winner's going to come from Fluffy and RDR, and I don't see either one of them beating him either. It just is what it is. BSD, boy, did he need that in his hometown. He fucking dog walked Hoofy. Just dog walked him. Dog walked him. But again, I always say this, I go off base strength of schedule, just like I do college football or anything, boxing, and we can get into Canelo and Crawford. Strength of schedule. Who's faced the toughest competition and excelled and did well, versus a guy who's on the come up and he's had some incredible wins or knockouts, but they're not the best, tip of the spear guys. I always go with the guy, even if he's had some stumbles and losses, I always go with the guy who's more battle tested, and that's BSD here. And Hoofy has some work to do. The jury's out on him. It's if he faces a good wrestler, he's fucked, So his ceiling is that, and it is what it is. It's all good. He's still a very exciting fighter. If they give him the right matchups, he's going to be a superstar. He'll be fine. For BSD, at lightweight, just the way the division's going, Gamrot, BSD Gamrot, that's what I would do. That'd be a fun fight for BSD next. See where he's at. Fancy yourself a grappler, go against Gamrot.
Yeah, that's a good matchup.
But again, to sum it up, in the main event, I didn't walk away and go, well, Hamzat has his work cut out for him. I predicted Imavov decision, based off their history. Yeah, I just think Hamzat eats both of them alive. That's how good that guy is.
He does look unstoppable. All right, you mentioned the boxing match that's coming up. Hold on a second here. Well, we had the no shake card as well. Man, where'd it go? Hold on.
UFC Noches. It was supposed to be in Mexico, but they're having issues with the arena, so they moved to San Antonio. Diego Lopez Silva, again, I think it's gonna be a tough night for the fighting nerds.
You picked Lopez?
Yes. Yeah. What's the odds on that? It's a good card. Great fight night. And you should be able to switch back and forth because you know how boxing does. The undercards are trash. Silva's a minus 270. Interesting. And that's you're basing that off of I don't see it. But who knows? Go with the odds. I don't see it, though. I was more excited for Rob Font and our youngster, our boy, he pulled out for a rib injury, Chin?
Yeah. Okay, so you picked Diego Lopez.
Diego Lopez, Rob Font to get it. Dave Martinez, good Mexican co-main event.
Filling for Raul Rosas Jr.
I was excited for that. Yeah. See him step up to get into the kind of contender spot there. Kelvin Gastelum. Tatiana Suarez back on there. Dude, prelims? That's offensive. Super offensive. But yeah, you should be able to switch between this and the big Canelo Crawford on Netflix. My wife's family, they're from Guadalajara. They're from the same hometown as Canelo, so they go nuts when he fights. And I'll get more in depth this week on that fight, and me and Brian, I'm sure, are going to talk about it. This is how it's going to go. The first 3 to 4 rounds, the speed of Terrence Crawford and him on the outside, and I bet he goes southpaw for most of it, is going to give a lot of problems for Canelo, but he's not going to knock him out. Canelo's never been sat down in a fight, and he's taking some hard punches. I go back to strength of schedule. Is Terrence Crawford a better technician, a better boxer overall? Yes, but much smaller. Canelo Alvarez has a way better strength of schedule. You look at his resume. He's just been doing it at a higher level against elite competition. Terrence Crawford's best competition, you'd say, is Earl Spence. Now, remember, that's not the vintage Earl Spence. That's the Earl Spence who got thrown out of a Ferrari and was coming off a long layoff, and then he beat that Earl Spence. He beat the fuck out of him, I'll give you that. Canelo Alvarez just has a better resume, bigger fighter. Is Terrence going to knock him out? No, so probably goes to decision. My question for you is, Canelo is the darling of boxing. Nobody beats him in decisions. The boxing community, the boxing judges always side towards Canelo. So if Terrence Crawford wins the first 3 or 4, do we really think he's going to be able to keep that pace and do it for 12 rounds? And let's say he does it for even 6 to 7 rounds. Do you really think the boxing community, the judges, are going to go against Canelo Alvarez? Because he clearly lost Triple G, and they still gave him the decision. It's back in Vegas. So Terrence Crawford isn't just facing a bigger guy, more experienced guy who has a better strength of schedule, better resume. He's also facing boxing judges, which never go against Canelo. I have Canelo via decision. That's how this ends. Is that it, Chin?
That is it.
All right, kids. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe. Check out the Fire Kid Patreon. Fire Kid Patreon, it's ad-free Fighting the Kids. Also, this week we're adding ad-free Schaub Show as well. Price stays exactly the same, $5. Get Fighting the Kid every week, plus additional extended episodes, additional content, behind the scenes, Q&As, and the Schaub Show ad-free as well for just $5 a month. Get you some. We're going to do Q&As on there this month as well. So make sure you go to patreon.com/TFATK. Schaub Show's on there as well, starting this week, ad-free. Get you some. That's it. Be nice to each other. Love you. Shout out to the dads out there. Keep being great dads. I'm out.